So with that, I'd like to introduce some special guests. First up, we have James Phelps, who played Fred Weasley in the Warner Brothers films. And then Oliver Phelps, who played George Weasley. Evanna Lynch, who played Luna Lovegood. Matthew Lewis, who played Neville Longbottom. And Devon Murray, who played Seamus Finnigan.
So, I'm sure you guys have the questions to ask these guys. I'm going to ask you to raise your hand when you have a question, and I'll call on you so we're not all talking at once. But I'm going to kick things off with a question, if you guys don't mind. I just want to know if you guys have felt being part of the Harry Potter film series.
I suppose we all say that they've got more worse in yeah, he was fantastic. And the fact that he's still the same like the celebration things. What a great occasion.
Yeah, I mean, what to say? It's been an incredible experience. It started when I was like 10 or 11 years old, I'm 25 this year, and I'm still, still a part of it, still here doing stuff for Harry Potter. It's incredible. It's hard to put into words, really. It's been a real roller coaster.
Know that we're always going to have a piece of Harry Potter here. It'll never be forgotten about, and it'll always still be part of our lives.
Yeah, it's nice to have that. I definitely find that the acting industry is so sort of cutthroat, and then we still have this cushion, and they're always so nice to us, and we do a lot of respect, like family. You don't really find that in this industry, and that's been lovely to have, and it's not going away anytime soon. Which one are you guys? Start with Vicky.
We're obviously here at a Harry Potter fan celebration. It's been a few years since the movie, but now we've got all this great theme park stuff happening. Fans are still very excited. Why do you think Harry Potter is timeless?
It's kind of because there's obviously so when the films are coming out, there's guys who watched it at the cinema, and now you've got the guys who are making TVs who now running into it. People are getting into the books and then getting into film episodes. So there's always something about the evening, or even maybe you just go to a great theme park like that, get into it that way. So I think that's, to me, that's why it's not recycled, but it's
I think also as well the fact that I always felt with Potter, I don't think I felt this with many. I read a lot of fantasy but I didn't feel other things that Harry Potter very much could be real, like because it wasn't. They still weren't normal teenagers behind it all, and they were doing a lot of things that people, other teenagers were growing up. I was doing it, but so it felt very real, but it was still like a sort of escapism at the same time because it wasn't our world, and I think this is kind of even it's made that more clear having the park here, like actually going from the Muggle world to the Wizarding world, and that's why everyone sort of wants to escape to that and have somewhere that's more fantastical than our world, but also that they can play to.
Yeah, I mean, it's the stories. Sorry about that. The stories are universal. They go all across, age ranges. Gender, race, like they're accessible for anyone all over the globe, and I think that really helps. And the story is timeless. That epic battle of good versus evil, and there's characters that everyone can relate to in the story and all their journeys, and the world's so vivid, the universe is so vivid that you can create these 3D immersive environments like they've done here, and people just keep coming back and discovering new things.
I'm not going to top anything they just said, so I just agree with them 100%.
Are we going to be able to hear
any of your voices or see any of your faces when we visit Diagon Alley Summit?
Yeah, so I'll take that one. There's a lot more information I heard about Diagon Alley. You guys said that. So yeah, it wouldn't be Diagon Alley without some of our favorite characters from Harry Potter.
So much for my question.
Matt, you alluded that you've been doing this for 14 years, more than half of your life. It's a long time, and there are people in the industry that certainly don't want to be, stigmatized with one person that they portray, even the twins and everything else. Do you find yourself that you want to separate from Harry Potter at all, but you still want to come back to it on occasion, or do you want to stay with the fandom and just roll with it forever? What's your thoughts on separating yourselves?
It's a good question. As an actor, I think throughout the film series, particularly towards the end, myself, I definitely had one eye on the career side of it and where I was going to go post Potter. And I've been really fortunate. I've come out the back of it, and I've been working, and I've done stuff where I've been able to play characters that are so drastically different from Neville, and I've been really fortunate in that respect. So yeah, there's definitely that idea of trying to do something different, but at the same time, you can't just ignore the past, and I'm not begrudging of Potter, because it gave me the ability to go on and do all this stuff, and I get the chance to come to Florida and chill out and see these guys again and meet you wonderful people. So yeah, when they asked me, I jumped at the chance, and I think it can be done alongside work at the same time. I think talking about previous roles I've played, not a big deal for me, I think.
I agree. I think definitely for me it gave me a career, and I don't think I would have had the confidence to even go into acting if I hadn't been for this. So it really pushed me into this, and the fact that I love it, and it just, it opens doors, not just acting. We went to NASA the other day, the Space Center, and this guy brought us into a room. He's like, no one's seen this spaceship. I was like, why? And you just would never connect the two, but it does. It has opened so many doors. There's so many opportunities. So I think it is what you make of it, and you do want to launch your career and not be seen as a child, all the time. And I don't know. For me, I'm really happy being identified with Luna, because I always gravitate towards those misunderstood characters and stories, and talking about acting range, that I love playing those characters, so for me to help. But yeah, and I think every one of us should just be given a platform, and it's up to us what we want to do with it.
For me, doing Harry Potter was the best thing I've ever done in my life so far. So I'll never begrudge the fact that the time that I spent on Harry Potter was the best thing I've ever done. And Seamus Finnigan, he was so much like me, connected straight through. Seamus is clumsy, I'm clumsy, so I'm kind of living Seamus' life every day of the week. I blow up my microwaves on a regular basis. Yeah, not on purpose, obviously. But so working on Potter was I don't think I could get typecast as such. To be fair, Seamus wasn't the biggest character in the world, and people remember me playing Seamus, but he wasn't on screen every 2 seconds. So it's a character that people can't forget about. They try to forget about. So I think for me, it's easier to go off in different ways. After Harry Potter, I kind of took a break to get back home, get back to my family, get back to horses. Because being on Harry Potter for 10 or 11 years kind of pulled me away from all my family and friends. So after Harry Potter, back home, back to normality a little bit. And now it's kind of time to get back in the saddle again and do more work.
Sharon, I get reminded of Star Trek conventions when I see this here, but this is a little different. You guys are the same age as the fans who grew up in this. I'm kind of wondering if you get that kind of super fan who knows every thing you want to do about what you did. Did that ever happen to you? And I'm wondering how you react to that.
Yeah, you see them. Yeah, especially we've had a look around the class today, a few of the rides, and we said to special reversal. Like, so people often wear robes. And then you see guys, mid-20s or so, the lightning bolt on a sharpie on their head, in the robe, queuing it to go on the right. So it does mean so much to people. And yeah, it's quite interesting when they say, oh, so you remember in this film when this happened? I'm trying to remember. So yeah, it does happen. But exactly. But I think that just shows what it means to people and how important it is to people's lives. And to be able to represent you something so significant to them.
Was it like that for you as a kid reading these books as well? Did you
I-
identify with them?
Yeah, a bit, yeah. I mean, obviously when we were reading the books, the films hadn't come out, but at the same time, you've got an image in your head, and everyone knows a character, someone in their life, like those characters. And I suppose people see us, and especially playing good guys, a lot more open to coming and chatting to us, like their friends.
Scott?
Matthew, you said at the very top that life's somewhat like a roller coaster, and we are here at one of the greatest amusement parks, theme parks on this side of the pond. What is your favorite theme park experience?
Oh, wow. You mean besides the wonderful world of Harry Potter?
Unless that is it. Tell us about it.
I mean, the thing about the theme parks over here, particularly Universal Studios and Mountain Adventure, is you just don't do anything by half. Like in the UK, our theme parks are like made of polystyrene, and they fall apart, and the illusions shattered very easily. Whereas here, it's all built to last, and it just feels so real. And you can one minute you can be walking down New York, and then you're in San Francisco, and then you're in Hogsmeade, and it's just incredible what you do here. Everything's just bigger and better, and the roller coasters are great. I love the Hulk. Yeah, I like that ride.
I love Seussland. And I tend to wear a lot of colours, so I always end up blending in really well with Seussland. And also the Hollywood, the really crazy roller coaster, the red one, the Rip Ride, that's what it's called.
I think there's an experience and memory for us when Weasley World opened. That was just insane. We were doing press when we were 4 and gradually the sun was coming up, and you could just see the line just getting longer and longer. And I don't know how many thousands of people turned up, but as an experience, I'll never forget that time. Like people just wanted to be there, and even if they didn't have time to queue to get. I mean, the average ride time is what, an hour and a half or something. It's like 12 hours or something. From where they joined the ride, but they just wanted to be there to experience that. Real state.
Yesterday, I'm a huge Simpson fan, and I went to Springfield yesterday. So I had a crusty burger and a Dutch beer, and a flaming moe, and that was really cool, and a big donut, which I feel quite shameful about now.
It was the biggest donut.
It was bigger than my head, it really was. And yeah, as an experience, that was really cool. But like Matt was saying, it's especially Universal here, they don't do things by half. So yeah, especially when viewers saw what they've got in store for the summer, it does look really, really cool.
Getting back to the books now, I mean, you talked about reading the books ahead of the movies. Were there any moments out of the books that involved your characters that you wish had actually made it into the finished film?
I was thinking, what didn't the character didn't make was Peeves, the book actually, from a friend, also a friend of Jewish related. But I suppose they had to trim some stuff down to make all that skin colours the way they are. Yeah, that was one character I liked.
Yeah, I always remember them saying that if they were to make everything in the first book into a movie, the movie would be about 7 hours long. So yeah, unfortunately they have to cut things out, but yeah,
I was really gutted that I didn't get to commentate the Quidditch match. I find sports really boring, sorry. It puts me to sleep. So it would have been fun to make it. But just to get the Lovegood treatment.
Yeah, well, I think I've had sort of the same one for a few years. I always really wanted to shoot the stuff with with Neville's parents in St Mungo's Hospital. It was something that David Yates was really keen on, and we just, we kept saying every sort of month or so go by, saying I'm really trying to get it back in. We're trying to find time, and it just got away from us, unfortunately, in the scheduling, and we never got around to shooting it. To which David was very apologetic. It was a shame. I thought it was really quite important to Neville's backstory. It sort of showed what his inspiration was, and it sort of showed why he did everything that he did, and why he had Harry's back and fought the good fight. So that was a shame, but we just had to find that journey other ways, which I think we sort of did the best we could.
For me, I think it was, I actually got to film the part that never actually made it into the film, so kind of, it was when when Neville comes in with his leg locker curse, and Seamus has to turn around and say he'll fix it, and Neville kind of gets up in his face at the knob and kind of, oh, what was it? You'd blow my kneecaps off or something. But Seamus had to have his ball patched down at the end of it, and I thought that was pretty cool because they had like my freckles and everything on it. It was kind of freaky looking. But I was always.
I thought it was real.
I got a ball patch there already, yeah. But yeah, I was always disappointed that never made it into the movie because I thought that was pretty cool. And I broke like 20 or 30 ones that day. Like I remember I keep on banging them on the table, and like they weren't made the best, so they kind of snapped every second table.
Well, you all grew up together. Is this kind of like a high school reunion, or besides you two, do you all?
We don't see it is kind of, yeah. I mean, we still do keep in touch, but it is sort of like the gang back together, really. I don't know, it's kind of pick up where we left off, don't we?
Yeah, it's tough. Everyone's sort of around the world with filming schedules or whatever, and it's hard to find time to get people together. I mean, we sort of play cricket, don't we? Like once a year, we play Alfie and stuff. So people see each other and we stay in touch, but it's quite rare to have this kind of experience. It's kind of nice. It's been good fun last few days.
Yeah, it's good because at least there's a slight structure to the schedule, but you're always together, so we can catch up on, even on old times as well. So yeah, just chill out what's going on and have some fun ones.
Yeah, and we always know there's going to be more of these, even when they say, this is it, done, how does it feel, it's done. Never done. There's always like, I never get too emotional leaving all these people because, 6 months down the line there'll be another theme park somewhere in the world. I don't know if that.
So Matt, you mentioned that the opportunities this is really important to you, and both of you have done stage in the last year and a half, and pretty major roles considering how young you are. Can you talk a little bit about those experiences and how you think that stage has been different for you, I guess, than the last year?
I think when I got out of Potter, I kind of felt like a bit of a fraud in terms of acting. I was like, I don't know what to do. Because I knew a little bit like inside out, but it was more just the child in me coming out and playing. And I didn't know how to approach a character who I was already like obsessed with or, really had a connection with. So that was just I did something that was it was small scale because I wanted to just explore. And I found it challenging. It was because it wasn't, and also because it was just a bit as the different from low budget and huge Harry Potter scale projects is that you have to be so much more responsible, like aware of yourself. You have to look out for yourself because they don't have the luxury of time to spend on things, to keep going over things, and sometimes it can come out looking awful. Whereas with Harry Potter, if it looked bad, we just do it again and again and again until it looks like great. So yeah, there was a certain, I felt more, I had more creative freedom, I suppose, and I didn't have to go through so many filters, that kind of thing. But yeah, I did, I enjoyed it, but I probably preferred film because, yeah, you can take more time over it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, mine was largely similar. You come out of a film like Potter, we've done for so many years. I'd never, a lot of actors job away in the theatre for years before they get anywhere near a TV film camera. So I felt like I needed to go back and go to that sort of that purest form of acting and see if I could do it. So I did a kind of a smaller play originally, like years ago, like 3-4 years ago, and I was crap. I was like so bad. I just never done it before. I did it in the evening, and it took quite a while to get through that. But sort of towards the end of the tour, I started to pick it up, and I learned from the other guys and got where I was going. And by the end of it, I was really enjoying it, and I was into it. And so when I got the chance to go on the West End last year, I just jumped at it, and it was a really great show. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was a much more pleasant experience than the previous play. And yeah, I got what it was all about. Really loved it, and those experiences and opportunities come off the back of this. Yeah, absolutely.
That play was amazing.
Did you see it?
Twice.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you should have told more people.
I'm assuming you've all been over to Hogsmeade. I just want to know what is your favorite thing over there, and then especially for you guys when Diagon Alley opens, what are you looking forward to seeing in there, especially in Weasley's Wizard Wheezes?
Yeah, the 18-foot version of myself doing that. I think one of my favourite things over there is the frozen butterbeer, especially in the summer. That's probably one of my favourite things there. Just sitting out, and like Oliver said, when the park first opened, seeing everyone walk through for the first time, and just like me in Springfield yesterday, everyone just. I'm sure that happens every day for the guys who work here. So I think that's one of the great experiences for me, is just seeing everyone, because we can't take it for granted because we've had the other thing in the UK. So yeah, seeing their reaction is fantastic. I think it's the latest to see the Weasleys there, which isn't on the soundstage. It's probably really cool to that. Really cool to like snack boxes and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's some cool stuff. That's all related.
I love just the detail that is put into it that makes it seem real. Like even the signs on the walls, like keep your hands in the cart. They're done on scrolls. Like it's all feels like Hogwarts. And yeah, I love the mandrakes. I always have to stand and squeal at them, like Huggins. I find them funny. And the toads, the choir toads.
I think Ollivanders is pretty amazing. Getting to go in there, the whole experience of picking the wands. I think that's amazing, the way we were able to do things in Harry Potter that people would love to be able to do. Now they have the chance to come here and go in and have their wand picked out and try a different wand. That's pretty awesome.
I've been playing Jeopardy because I didn't hear the question. I've been trying to guess what. Was it?
Have you been to Hogsmeade, and what was your favorite part?
Okay, cool, right, yeah, right. That's what I was. I just that first moment when I went through the main entrance and could see the castle, off into the distance, and it just looked so big, and I thought, it looks so far away as well. I was thinking it's going to be so amazing going through this whole town, reaching up into the castle at the end, and going to all the shops. That was kind of what, when I was a kid reading the books, that was what I just totally imagined. And obviously when you go on a film set, it's quite a bit different from that. And so to be able to come here and experience that, like I imagined it, Harry experienced it in the book, that's pretty cool.
We have time for one more question. Barb?
Well, you had mentioned earlier seeing the line of people building when the original Wizarding World opened, and Harry Potter is really a phenomenon. So when did it impact you guys that you were part of something so much bigger, not just a movie, but something that would live on at theme parks and just have fans that are this devoted and more generations coming up?
I think every premiere, when that was the first time you see it, and you see more people arriving at them, and they got bigger and bigger. I mean, the final one was the biggest premiere I think ever held in London, which says something about premieres got been held in London. And then you hear on the grapevine how people are naming their children after characters, like really serious stuff. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things. I'm sure that when the expansion opens,
it'll be the same again. So subscribe if you want to come and see it. But yeah, I think there's always going to be people getting into it.
Well, hey guys, well thank you so much for joining us. And we have a great